This is a battle against Chicklover69 of GammaFAQs.com. And this is also my first battle with my new reevaluated Sandstorm team. So he sends out his Gallade, and I got a Focus Sash on my Roserade, so I try and Sleep Powder. I figure it won't be that big a deal if it misses or anything, because I'll be saved by the Focus Sash. So he Psycho Cuts me, because Sleep Powder does miss, and I Sleep Powder again on the second turn. And now I set up my Toxic Spikes while he's asleep. And I also learned that he has a Life Orb, which, valuable information. So then he Ice Punches to finish off my Roserade, but I set up my Toxic Spikes, so that's really all I needed my Roserade to do. He Ice Punches my Skarmory and freezes my Skarmory, which sucks. And he Swords Dances. He figures while he's frozen, he'll be able to just beef himself up. But he Swords Dances again, which is probably the mistake here. I roar him, because I figured I could take at least one more Ice Punch, even if it was Swords Danced. But I roar in a Tentacruel, which absorbs my Toxic Spikes and kind of makes my Roserade's death pointless. And then he Rapid Spins and blows away the spikes I just put up. And I put up another spikes after he Rapid Spins. And I switch out to my Dusknoir so that I can't get Rapid Spinned again. But he Toxic Spikes on the switch. And then he Toxic Spikes again. And I Will-O-Wisp his Tentacruel. And that's especially since I don't really want to switch anything in. Because he just put on the Toxic Spikes. And, just to burn him. Maybe predict a switch or something. And I Nightshade him on the second turn, and he keeps Sludge Bombing me. I think his goal in Sludge Bombing me is to poison me, because it doesn't do that much damage. I figured he was going to switch, so I Will-O-Wisp there. But now I know that he's going to leave his Tentacruel in. And so I'm hurt by poison, and he serves me, but this is my special defense Dusknoir, so that doesn't do a whole lot. And then I should have stopped Will-O-Wisping at that point, because I thought I was trying to predict another switch. It didn't work out. Now I'm just losing health to poison. And he surfs again. And this time I Nightshade. And so he's in very low red HP. And I can pick him off with the Shadow Sneak now. Get hurt by poison. And Shadow Sneak. And Tentacruel dies. So now that Tentacruel's dead, I don't have to worry about setting up my entry hazards, which is really the main point of this team. And because all I had to really worry about was taking out his Rapid Spinner. And now that that's gone, not much of a problem for me. But he sends in Weevil and finishes off my Dusknoir. I send back out Skarmory to lay down the rest of my spikes. And also because I feel there's nothing Weevil can seriously do to my Skarmory. So he realizes that too, and he switches out to Steelix. So I put down another set of spikes. So that should be, if I'm counting correctly, all 3 spikes out. And I roar his Steelix out of there, but he sets up a Stealth Rock first. Gallade comes out and gets hurt by the spikes. He close combats my Skarmory, which makes his defense fall, and he loses HP from the Life Orb. So I Drill Peck him, and with the lower defense and everything, it's enough to kill Gallade, and I'm healed from leftovers. He sends an Electivire, which gets hit by the spikes, so I send out my Swampert. My Swampert gets badly poisoned on the switch, and he tries to Thunderbolt me, but it doesn't affect the Swampert, which is exactly what I wanted to happen by switching out the Swampert. He Cross Chops, and it doesn't really do that much, and I figured he was either going to switch or do a move that wouldn't really be able to do a whole lot to Swampert, so I Stealth Rock. I figured I had time to do that. He Hidden Powers, because I guess he feels that'll do more than Cross Chop, but didn't do that much, so I Earthquake this time. And Electivire dies. And now I've got my Stealth Rock and my spikes up, which is awesome. So he sends back in Steelix, and he gets hit by the spikes and the Stealth Rock. And so he Earthquakes me, and I roar him out of there because I want to entry hazard whatever else he's got. So it switches back into Weevil, which takes damage, brings it down to less than half, which is awesome. But my Swampert dies from poison. So I send back in Skarmory. And he Ice Punches. And it brings me down really low, brings me down to 16 HP. But I'm able to roost back up from that, so I'm okay. Now I'm back 184 HP, so I know I'll be alright. He Ice Punches again, and I roar him out of there, figuring that if Weevil comes back in, he's probably going to be dead, or at least very close to dead. And I want to get rid of the rest of his Pokemon. So Steelix on the switch takes the damage. I figured Steelix can't do that much to me. I Roost up, and just heal Skarmory. So he Stone Edges, but Roost takes off the Flying type for the turn for my Skarmory. So Stone Edge isn't very effective against only Steel Pokemon. And then I Roar Steelix out of there, which goes first, because I guess he was also using Roar. And it roars into Heatran. And he Flamethrowers. I probably should have switched out Skarmory. But, you know, I probably should have switched to Tyranitar there. I thought maybe Skarmory could take the Flamethrower, and I just didn't want to switch. But yeah, Weevil comes back in, and Weevil dies. I was going to Superpower, hopefully Superpower Heatran. He obviously didn't want to Flamethrower me, but now he sends Heatran back out, because it's a Scarfed Heatran, and he's going to try an Earth Power. Now, I left Tyranitar in there. I could have switched out to something, but there's nothing I wanted to switch out to. I could switch out to my Magnezone at this point, but it would get hit by Earth Power. And in the Sandstorm, Tyranitar Special Defense is good enough where it can take a Heatran's Earth Power. So I Superpower him, and that kills him. And then he switches out to Steelix, which takes a lot of damage from Entry Hazard. And then I'm just able to pick off the last bit of HP. And that's the game. So good game, man. It was a lot of fun.